Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Rauf Ahmad Farooqi. Today in this video I am going to discuss what is repetition and what is the repetition of sounds. Repetition may be defined as the occurring of something again and again. If we talk about the repetition of sounds, then it may be defined as a literary technique in which the sounds are repeated again and again. It is used in literature to attract the attention of the readers, and it is also used in literature to create the musical effects. And the piece of the text in which the repetition is used is easy to memorize. This is the reason because of which the poet and the writer use this literary technique in the piece of the literary text which is written for children. If we talk about the types of the repetition of sounds, then we have three types of repetition of sounds. The first one is alliteration. Alliteration may be defined as the repetition of consonant sounds in the beginning of the words in one line of verse or prose. This repetition of sound occurs in the beginning of the word, at the initial position of the words. For example, no time to stand and stare. In this line, there is the repetition of sa sound in two words, stand and stare. In these two words, the repetition of sa sound occurs, and the sa sound is found at the initial position of these two words. This type of repetition is known as alliteration. The second type of repetition is consonance. Consonance may be defined as the repetition of consonant sounds in one line of verse or prose, but here in this case the repetition may occur at any place in one line. It does not occur in the beginning of the words. For example, what is this life if full of care? Here, if full of care, in this line there is the repetition of fa sound, but fa sound is found in three words, if, full, of. But in these three words, the fa sound does not occur at the initial position of the words. In one word, if, first word, the fa sound occur at the end of the word. In next word, full, the fa sound occurs in the beginning of the word. Whereas in third word, of, the fa sound occurs at the end of this word. Fa sound, repetition of fa sound, but not at the initial position of the words. This type of repetition is known as consonance. The third type of repetition is assonance. Assonance may be defined as the repetition of all sounds in one line of verse or prose. For example, bid me to live and I will live. Here in this line, the repetition of short vowel E occurs again and again. For example, there is a word bid. It may be transcribed as ba, e, da. Me, it is transcribed as ma, e. Live, it is transcribed as la, e, va. Here we have observed that the e sound, short vowel e, it is repeated again and again. This type of repetition is known as assonance. And if there is the repetition of letters in different words and the sound is different, it is not the example of assonance. There should be same vowel sounds. If the same vowel sounds occur again and again in different words, then that would be the example of assonance. For example, we have two words, book, school. In these two words, there is the repetition of letters double O, but the sounds of these two words is different, as we have observed from the transcription of these two words. Book may be transcribed as ba, u, ka, whereas the school may be transcribed as sa, ka, u, la. In first word book, the vowel sound is u, short back vowel u, whereas in school there is vowel sound but long back vowel u. These two sounds are different from each other. That is why this is not the example of assonance. Assonance is the repetition of same vowel sounds.